So I got a couple of comments from my last video saying that the audio wasn't that good. So I have a microphone now. I didn't just buy it. I've been having it for a while now. The box is really dusty. This is kind of like a test on this, just to see if this would work. I kind of feel like a host kind of holding this. Let's get ready to rumble. Also, I don't know if I'm supposed to be using this, but like, does it really make a difference? Hello? Is it making a difference? Hi! Hello there. Welcome again. Start this video off, I'm going to give you guys a nice little story. Not that long ago, I went to Little Tokyo with a couple of friends of mine I have not seen in a long time. Like, you know, a couple of window shopping, we ate, we kind of had a nice time. And one of the stores we went to, I forgot the name of it. It starts with a K. It's a really long name. If I pronounce it right now, it's going to be completely bad. Anyways, that store. It's kind of like a bookstore. It has a lot of manga, a lot of just general Japanese books, or any like cute little things that you would like. We were kind of just looking around the manga section because we do not know any Japanese, so why not just go to the one place where there's a little bit of English. I saw this one cover that really did grab my attention. I picked it up, read the back, and at that very second, I was just like, I want to buy this. No second thought, just bought it, and I was like, I'm gonna read this. I read it, I really did enjoy it, and now I'm gonna tell you guys about it. So this story is a transgender story. It just got released. It's brand new. I believe the first volume came out this year. The second volume, I believe the English translation came out last week, so it's very, very fresh. I feel like it should be brought out because, one, we don't get that many LGBTQ plus series, let alone a transgender series. It's really great to see this type of representation in the medias that we enjoy. So the manga in question is called Boys Run the Riot, as you can see right here. This is a nice cover that really did grab my attention. It's really cool, as you can tell. Fun fact, the creator Keito Gakko, and I hope to God I pronounced that correctly. If I did not, go ahead and stab me. He is transgender himself, so in a way it's really cool to see this type of representation from people who have actually experienced these type of things. And of course, we should really support creators from the LGBT community. That's why, again, we got to bring this up. I'm going to read you guys the synopsis so you could kind of see what the whole series is about. High schooler Rio knows he's transgender, but he does not have anyone to confide in about the confusion he feels. He can't tell his best friend, who he secretly has a crush on, and he can't tell his mom, who constantly asks him why Rio dresses like a boy. Oh my god, I felt that. He certainly can't tell Jin, the new transfer student who looks just like another bully. The only time Rio feels at ease is when he's wearing his favorite clothes. Then, and only then, the world melts away, and he can be his true self. One day, while shopping, Rio sees someone he didn't expect. Jin, the kid who looks so tough in class, has the same taste in fashion as him. At last, Rio has someone he can open up to, and the journey ahead might finally give him a way to express himself to the world. So you get the gist of it. Just to kind of summarize that, this kid named Rio, who is transgender, female to male, has kind of been very reserved to himself. He really can't open up to people about his issue, and it's kind of like this really nice journey of him slowly opening up to who he really is. Right now, I'm just going to talk about the two main characters, Rio and Jin. So Rio, as I said, he is very reserved. There's a good reason why. He is very dependent on what other people think about him. So he has had really bad issues of people spreading rumors about him because of the way that he acts or like the way that he dresses. A lot of people from the LGBT community, it's really hard to open up to people. You either get a really terrible response or you get a really positive response, and it's this fear of what response the people who are meant to be close to you are gonna give. So of course it is this fear that is holding him back from openly expressing who he is as a person, which is why he pushes others away. But the first person he was able to tell is Jin. So Jin he seems like a delinquent in a way. He is currently repeating a grade. Rio is a second year and Jin is supposed to be a third year, but since he missed a couple of classes, he had to repeat a year. Now, Jin is very outgoing. He's very, very confident who he is. He doesn't really care about what others think about him. You know, the whole class kind of considers him kind of weird because, one, he's repeating grade and he kind of dresses very differently. This whole label of him as a delinquent is already like placed on him, but he doesn't really care. He's just like, I'm just myself, and that's all that matters. If people don't want to see me that way, then they don't have to. And he was also the one who came up with the whole business idea. From the very start. They finally meet up like outside of school in a certain store. They realize that they have the same clothing style, and then the next day Jin goes up to Rio and says, how about we start our own business since we both have the same like fashion style? And that's very interesting. Like, imagine someone who you don't even know about just comes up to you and be like, let's start a business, bro, let's do this together. In my world, that's kind of strange, but oh well. And also, Jin was the very first person that Rio was able to open up about him being transgender. Of course, since he's so laid back, he gave them one of the most positive responses I've seen, which is, well, why didn't you just say so? He considered Rio as a guy. And as I said, it's very nerve-wracking to know what type of response people are going to get. And the idea of your first response to be very positive, that really does affect someone, you know. If someone's first response is very negatively, their whole confidence, their whole label upon themselves is going to be identified as very negatively. When Rio's first ever response about him being transgender been given as a positive response, it really does affect who he is, and he starts to become more confident with himself. Now, their character, as I always say, I really do love the whole character dynamic when two completely different characters come together and they just create something really great, and you really do see that, especially in this first volume. I did mention that the second volume just came out last week, and I was able to get it yesterday, so I am going to read it today, and once I'm finished, I'm going to give you guys my fresh opinion, my thoughts on it, my response to it, but I'll let you guys know what I think about it tomorrow. Right, see you guys soon. Hi. Yeah, I kind of spent all of last night reading this manga. It's really funny how like I have friends who are like going out. They go out a lot. They go like to parties and they go on dates and they go do things, and I'm here at home reading manga. That's my life, but I like it. I just finished reading the second volume, and I have some things I want to say. So first off, we get introduced to two new characters. The first one is Mizuki, who you basically see here in the cover. I don't know how I feel about her yet. Okay, I have a tendency where if I meet a character, I don't like, I have like quick judgments of them, but I tend to not view them in like neither a positive nor negative way, because what if like they turn out to be the complete opposite than what you thought. So with her, she seems really cool. Just like to summarize this volume, Rio is starting off a part-time job to help make money for their brand. Unfortunately, a lot of places are very gendered. There's like a lot of gender roles. For example, in a karaoke bar that he first applies to, he has to wear a certain attire. Women are mainly only allowed to work in the front desk, and he doesn't want to do that. So he was like, hey, I'm actually a guy on the inside. Would it be cool if I, you know, worked as like a guy, like a male type of role in this job? And the manager, he's like, that's asking a little too much. That's gonna make us uncomfortable. Bro, really, bro? Really, bro? Really? That's all I'm gonna say to that manager. So he goes to this other place, that is a restaurant. The roles there are very gender neutral. You know, both men and women are waiters. They all wear the same thing. Rio decides to stick with that place, and there's where he meets Mitsuki, who is a college student. She is very outgoing. She's very friendly. She's very kind. She's very much a people's person. So that's really cool. And what's really interesting, when she the very first day that she was with Rio, she said, "Are you a boy?" Of course, Rio didn't know, like, that was very sudden for him. So he was like, and just left. I'm not gonna spoil a lot about this like volume because I want you guys to read it. This volume really did conclude men are trash. And you'll kind of see why I say that. The other character that we are introduced to is Wings, who is a YouTuber. He is a makeup YouTuber. He helps out with the brand, you know, making photo shoots for them. And since he has such a big platform, he said, hey, I could use my platform to further expand your brand. It's a strange interaction with him and Rio. How do I say this? Again, this is like very first impression, so it's like I just finished reading this. So a lot of my thoughts are just very all over the place because it's all over the place. The ending was kind of all over the place. Not like in a bad way, but it's just, it left me with a lot of thoughts, and I'm like, I need to read the 3rd volume, but unfortunately it's not going to come out till next month. So I'm really sad. Wings is a very flamboyant but like calm flamboyant type of person. I don't know how else to describe those kind of people. Very flamboyant, but they're also like very down to earth. Anyways, but I think overall the whole purpose is just all these reactions and all these opinions from other people on how Rio should be. He is kind of dealing with how everything has to be gendered specified. He just doesn't want that. But it's like everyone else's opinion is kind of overlapping his, so he doesn't know what to believe. Overall, it's getting really interesting. The first volume was kind of like, you know, introduction, of course. It's just like, okay, here's these 2 characters. They're gonna start a brand. This is who they are. Second volume, this is how society works, and this is how it affects the main protagonist. Really am looking forward to seeing what this manga has in store for us. So yeah, highly recommend you guys to read this manga. As I said, it's just brand new. You guys can just go ahead and catch up really easily. If you guys have any other mangas or anime series that are representations of LGBTQ plus, yeah, just let me know. Also, let me know if you guys want to read this manga or if you're already reading it. What are your intakes on it? And random question. Do you like dragons? I love dragons. I really do. I think they're really cool. Anyways, that's all it for me. So, see ya.